since 55.
55.
1955. We moved here in 1955. And I was a junior in high school, and I was a very shy person. And I can remember my dad let me out in front of the school for the first day of school, and I was scared to death. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And we came to this church, and this church was full of teenagers. We even had a teenage girls circle with 50 girls in it. And so right away, I met kids, and it saved me, I made all kinds of good friends. Hopefully some of them will come back for the 100th anniversary too,
I hope so.
But I was really blessed that we came to this church, and there were so many, people my age in the church.
Oh, that's
I ended up with mostly band member friends. The band director's daughter was one of my best friends, and they went to this church, Pete Ratzbolier. So I was really, really happy.
That's so great. Well, you have circled on here. Now this will be edited, so whatever I say will be taken out.
Okay.
Or whatever, if you stumble on something, don't worry about it because she'll edit it. Describe an event or a time when you felt very moved by God in an event related to the church.
Well, this one is kind of humorous too, It's when we had a pastor here who insisted that everybody help with the church service like we do now. We always have an elder. Well, at that time, I was totally shy. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. Arnold, it was Arnold Lovell, was our pastor. And he says, you have to do it, Becky. And so I said, listen, Moses had Aaron to talk for him. And he said, Becky, you're not Moses. So anyway, I said a prayer before I got up there, and when I stood up, I couldn't believe I could do it. It went really well, and that's really what started me being able to talk in front of people in the church, so that now, I'm teaching Bible, following in my mother's footsteps, But I think if I hadn't done that, maybe I never would have said anything in church. But it was really funny because I just was so calm when I stepped up after I said a prayer, and it all went well, And I didn't fall off. I didn't fall off the platform or anything, like I did when I tried to help light the candles for Christmas.
That's great. I love that story. What's your favorite memory?
Oh, I don't know that I have a favorite memory. I just love this church, and I've loved, the people in it. It's a great church to be in. And the missions, I love the fact that it's such a mission-oriented church. We get to do so much stuff. And one of my favorite memories probably would be the Christmas baskets, giving out the Christmas baskets. Because people are so happy to get that, And then the things for the kids, the presents that we do for children too. But I like all that. Going to Sojourners, everything that we do from this church is just fantastic, I think.
That's great. You kind of answered like a bunch of the questions all in those two answers you just gave. Do you have something in particular you'd like to tell people about the church?
No, just that it's a loving church that's very concerned with other people. And it's an inclusive church that accepts everybody. And it's a wonderful place to attend and be involved in.
Great. Do you, well, you've already answered ways that you think God has worked through or is currently working through the church. Do you have, this is off the wall, this has nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hope or a vision for our church in the next 10 years?
I don't. That's not a good answer.
No, that's okay, because that was just that is all, not on the list. I haven't asked anybody else that.
Yeah. I just I hope it grows. I know that's hard to do though, in these times, to get people into the church. you know, so I would hope for that. And of course, that would just continue with the missions that we do. And the music program, I love the music program, of course. You know.
Yeah, tell us more about how the music program is meaningful to you.
Oh, it just means so much, you know, I mean, Christmas Eve is just, it almost makes me cry to think about it, because I love it. But I love our choir director, is so wonderful. I mean, he is the least, he's a choir director that we've had that doesn't complain about us, that doesn't correct us, you know, a lot. I mean, he has us like, okay, sopranos, let's sing that part over, but he never says, oh my gosh, that was awful, you know, because we've had choir directors that did that, you know. Then sopranos couldn't even sing the high notes with some of our choir directors we had. We had to sing lower notes because she wouldn't let us do that. But I mean, he's just, I don't know, he's just such a good guy, and he's really good to learn from, to sing, and he's so positive. I think that's the thing. I said something to his daughter about how positive he was about everything, and she said, oh, he's always been like that, you know. Same with his kids, I guess, you know.
That's great. That's great.
But we're so fortunate to have him because he has a lot of contacts, too, that we can bring in other types of music to our church, which I think is wonderful.
That is. That's a huge blessing to us.
And I talked to Belinda's dad at class today, and he said she's so looking forward to coming back to choir tonight.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I was afraid you were gonna say she can't come because he's sick.
No, she wants to come.
Oh, good. Good. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.